So it's a transfer. Alright, I feel a bit energized from that. It feels great when you get a good sleep. Maybe or the emotional energy that I got out yesterday when I did this. So, this is the second. I decided to sit in front of the camera and do this again the next day after. But yeah, I'm obviously going to stagger out the release of these videos so that I can get a week worth of content that will be daily, or I might slow down to 3 per week because I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to run dry. I'm kind of enjoying this already. Now, the next topic I want to talk about is about what work is like, and how I've got a really huge resentment. I told my career counsellor this, that I've got a really big fear about going back to work because I hated the main job that I've ever had, and I hated another job that I had, and I think during hating my salesperson job at a large corporation technology store, that I really started drinking a lot. Back then I was a normal person and could actually drink 4 beers, or in my case Jim Beam and cola, in one night and be perfectly satisfied with the increase in joy that I have for that night. But then of course still have to go to work the next day. I was basically doing that daily, and that's the kind of depression that my job led to, because I was a salesperson, and if I say the name of the company, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I could probably be sued if I say too much. It's part of this whole feeling like I've got a gag on, and that I can't talk about things that are bothering me because I'm not allowed to. It's in contracts that I've signed. So basically, as a salesperson, I got to earn commission, and this was and then there were bonuses given to me if I managed to sell certain promoted brands and stuff like that. So, I thought, okay, it's an option to get bonus money if I sell a particular brand to customers, and that's my choice. But it wasn't. I often just went with whatever computer I thought was the best for the customer. And then I got called into the office and they said, "Oh, you're not selling enough promoted products." And I'm like, yeah, but I don't believe that the promoted product is what my customer needs. And it's like, well, you have to. It's a condition of working here that you sell the brands that we're supposed to sell. So basically, it was this, they were getting shaken down by the big corporations to, basically the big corporations pay retail stores to prioritize their products. And, it's like, it's immoral, it's unethical, and that's the reason why I never want to go back to that. I was very good at the job, and I guess I, for some reason, had some sort of trusting face of a nerd that when people came in to get a computer, they would trust what I'd say, and, you know. But I felt awful about it all the time. I felt like, I'm ripping these people off. And yeah, I guess I just started drinking to cope with the guilt. And you know, this was a long time ago. It was from between when I was 21 to 22. I worked there for a year and a half, and I eventually just quit and decided I wanted to go to Perth, and I wanted to go into school to learn sciences, particularly biology, zoology. I had to do it through some kind of trade course because, you know, as like a lab technician, because I didn't have the grades in maths specifically to, you know, qualify for an actual university course in biology or something like that. But I'm not really sure what made me change my mind, but I instead decided to take a film and television course because I realised that technically what I really wanted to do was to create documentaries like David Attenborough does, and you know, informative documentaries that teach people things. And I'd kind of already been doing that in the past as an activist atheist on YouTube that would create videos where I try to explain science to people that are scientifically illiterate, religious people. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I gained, you know, skills and creative equipment and stuff like that to actually do this more seriously rather than just in a video blog format. Because I don't know, I guess my charisma wasn't good enough to, you know, eventually I gave up on being a YouTube atheist because I was having no impact. I had only like 200 subscribers. I felt like there wasn't much point to it. I was stressing myself out, reading in the news every day about all the horrible things that religion was doing in the world. But that's not what this is about. I'll go into that topic in more detail later. But sort of losing track again, but this whole concept of anyway, film school was a complete waste. It was extremely fun. It was one of the only times when I've actually wanted to get out of bed and go to class. You know, high school was awful because I was bullied, and most of the classes I had no interest in, and even the classes that I did have interest in, I got bad grades because I wasn't good at writing essays, and especially not essays on the spot where you have like an hour to write an essay with your hand in a limited time. That's what caused me to, you know, get C's on most of my classes and not qualify for university. But anyway, society has got this really warped, stupid idea of what someone's supposed to do with their life. You're just supposed to work. You're supposed to have a career. You're supposed to go up the ladder in that career. You're supposed to learn only a very specialized subject. It's my opinion that because I've worked so little and I've spent so much free time absorbing knowledge, I know it sounds arrogant, but I believe I have got more of a general knowledge than most people that have achieved a doctorate at university, because I enjoy knowing, the basics of everything. I've learned a lot about psychology and biology and a lot about, evolutionary biology and history, the mistakes that world leaders have made in the past and are repeating today. It's my opinion that people who become president or prime minister should have a certain amount of years of education in history, because otherwise they're going to repeat the tragic things that have happened in the past, because they don't even know that mistake's been made yet. But there's a lot of talk that's been going around lately about how UBI is being considered as a basic human right. That's enough. That's like, $1,000 a month to be enough for you to have a place to live and to be able to feed yourself. And I mean, in America, $1,000 a month seems kind of high considering their standard of living, because I get about the same amount and I'm able to have internet and rent a computer and have a phone plan, and I do that with what I get on New Start allowance. Now, if someone were to have kids and a car to pay off, and all these other obligations, then maybe they do need a bit more than that. But I tell my therapist, and she seems to find it hard to understand. I tell her, I never intend to ever have any kids. I never intend to ever drive a car, because I've pretty much got a fear of being in control of a car or even a power tool. I am scared of drills, saw blades. When I was forced to be in a woodwork class in alcohol rehab, it was terrifying. I'm sure there's some amount of exposure therapy that might eventually get me to stop fearing being in control of a car, because the thing is, I'm absent-minded and I can often just go into a daydream at random, and if that were to happen while I was behind the wheel of a car, I don't trust myself to be in control of something that could, cause devastation if I let my concentration slip. And it must be because of all my anxiety issues and stuff, because I see other people just casually, playing Pokemon Go on their phones while they're driving, for F's sake. Anyway, when automation takes over 60-70% of all jobs in the world, unemployment is going to be just about the norm. It's going to be expected. It will be a privilege, a huge privilege, for you to even have a job. So the way the system works now, where everyone's expected to get a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, or else they can't get any welfare from the government if they're not constantly trying to get 40 hours a week, which is ridiculous to me. If I worked 40 hours a week and got minimum wage, I would feel at least 4 times richer than I have felt for the last 6 years. I mean, ever since I worked at Harvey Norman, that's the only time when I did have a minimum wage job for 38 hours a week plus commission. And since then, I've just gotten used to living, on basically $1,000 a month. But of course, that comes with the condition that I have to be constantly trying to get a full-time job, trying to sign myself up to some corporation for the rest of my life that will make me miserable and make me have so little free time that I can't be bothered doing any of my hobbies. Then I won't get any good at my hobbies, and then I will never be able to actually turn my hobbies into something that I could make money from. I haven't done any video editing except for just to tweak my intro a little for this vlog series. In like 4 or 5 years, when I last felt inspired creatively to tweak around with a video editor. It's like and this is all because of these greedy capitalist corporations that just keep the 1% rich class getting richer but staying the same size. The middle class is disappearing, and all that's left is the 90% low class, who are all unemployed and on some kind of welfare, or homeless on the streets. I mean, it's not quite there yet, but it's going to be. I mean, the company, I've got a job that I really, really enjoy. I think I will cut the video there for now and actually talk about my job as a separate video.